You're being judged faster than you can blink. No, really. Blink, too slow. Hi, my name is Heidi Molense, and this is my corner of cyberspace. Welcome back. I want to talk to you today about your superpower, great communication. It's a skill that everybody has latent within themselves, and you just need to discover it and hone it. So, in the old days, people thought that it took about 20 minutes for people to start judging you after they meet you for the first time. And then roundabout in the 80s, they thought, oh, wait, we've got that wrong. It's 4 minutes. They actually discovered that it's 3 milliseconds. Faster than you can blink. You are being judged before you even open your mouth. Why does this matter? You are communicating before you even open your mouth. The way that you show up, the way that you enter the room, the way that you carry yourself. And the scary bit is, it might even be saying something, all these things, maybe saying something that you don't really want it to say. Another interesting thing is that we as human beings were born to mimic and to mirror. They've done a study. Actually, there's a number of studies to prove this. But babies born in, for instance, Germany will cry differently to babies born in France. Babies born in Russia sound different to babies born in America. In South Africa, a Zulu baby's cry will sound vastly different to an Afrikaans baby's cry. That's because the babies mirror from birth the sounds that they hear. And that is amazing. It shows us that we were from birth inclined to mirror and match. And that's an awesome trick to remember for when you are meeting people, when you are in negotiations. Actually, all conversations are negotiations. But that trick to mirror and match ever so subtly can put you at an advantage. Or just to level the playing field. Have you ever left an argument or a heated conversation, and 30 minutes later, you go, oh, now I know exactly what I should have said. I should have said this. I actually wanted to say that. That is because our emotions hijack our logic. So the second you step away from the emotion, away from the situation, and you emotionally detach yourself from it, then the logic starts working again. And that is worth remembering when you're having conversations, negotiations, whether it's at work or at home, that the second you become too emotionally involved, you literally cannot think straight. So it really is helpful to know that you need to calm yourself down, relax within yourself, and then it will allow the conversation to flow. Then your logic will kick in properly and you'll be able to say what you have to say. Plus, you're not giving your power away. You are holding on to your power by holding on to your emotions, by being in control of your emotions. And that doesn't mean that you freak out overtly. It's also that inner freak out, that inner upset, that inner turmoil that triggers that. So you don't really have to go be in a screaming match for this to take place. This insight I found tremendously interesting. The FBI and the profilers in America did thorough research on this. They went to prisons and they spoke to the criminals, and they showed them videos of people walking in the street. That's all these people did on these videos. They were walking in the street, and they asked the criminals, who would you attack or victimize or approach to do whatever it is your criminal deed was that you were in prison for? And without fail, these criminals had the following answers. They pointed to the people who were, number one, walking as if they were unsure of where they were going, as if they were unfocused, as if they were in their own world. That's the first type of person they would approach. The second type of person they would approach would be the kind of person who would be timid, shoulders slouched or arched forward, head down, not looking up. So your timid kind of person they would definitely approach to do whatever criminality it is. Who they would leave alone, not even give a second thought to, are the people who have good posture, who walk up straight, who have their heads up, who have the chin parallel to the ground, who had a look in their eye and in their body, just their body showing, I am sure of myself. I am confident. I know where I'm going. And that was so interesting for me, not just from the view of being victimized or not, but just for us to understand how we walk, how we present ourselves when we're not even thinking that we are presenting ourselves to anybody. The air, the energy that we give off is showing us what's going on inside of us. And that makes people react. Because remember earlier we spoke about mirroring and matching. If you are insipid and timid within yourself, you will show that on the outside of you. And what does that do to the people that you want to or need to interact with? How does that work out for you in a conversation with new people that you meet and at work? That's certainly some food for thought, right? And then there is that sneaky thing that you do with your voice, the pitch, the upward inflection. So the inflection is whether the voice goes up or the voice goes down. If I introduce myself, hi, I'm Heidi Molense, my voice went up at the end. That doesn't make me sound like I'm particularly sure of myself. It just gives off an air of uncertainty. It's a question mark. It makes it hang in the air. But if I say, hi, I'm Heidi Molense, there my voice goes down. That makes me sound sure of myself. That makes me sound like I've got my both feet planted on the ground, and I'm ready to hear what you have to say in return. That makes me sound like I am in control, and in a good way, of course. So this is your pro tip for the day. Don't ask your name. State your name. That leads me to another thing I'm just thinking about now, and that is speaking in cadence. So that's kind of the way I'm speaking now. I'm not speaking fast and let everything coming out of my mouth without any pauses or breaks. Nobody wants to listen to that. Imagine Nelson Mandela when he did that speech, never, never, and never again, right? He didn't say never, never, and never again. He went never, never, and never again. Martin Luther King, I have a dream. And then that he was a pastor, so he really understood what it was like to speak to crowds and to really command people's attention. But that's another pro tip for you for today. Remember that. Remember that if you speak in cadence, you take your time, you leave not massive pauses, but just enough pause for people to digest what you are saying, especially if you are speaking to your kids and you want to really drive a point home with them and educating them, disciplining them, and helping them grow up into the amazing human beings I know you want them to be. Or if you are at work, if you are saying what you have to say in a meeting. I want to let you know that I have a free mini masterclass, like a taster session of my communication skills masterclass, which is normally 2.5 hours long. I've created a little mini one for you. You can find that on my YouTube channel, which is at Heidi Molensa. And the title of the video will be Your Superpower, Great Communication. I'll also put that as an event on Eventbrite, and that will be from Tuesday, 20 May 2025, every Tuesday at 6 o'clock South African Standard Time, and that event is free to attend. So that's the mini masterclass in high-powered communication skills. It's a little taster session to show you some tips and tricks that you can start implementing immediately. You know, it is a scientific fact. It's been proven through the last few years when people started really doing research into this thing. Communication is your number one skill. It has to be your number one skill that you need to discover and hone. By improving your communication, just your communication, to be more effective and to communicate optimally, you can improve your professional and your personal life by up to 85%. Up to 85%. Isn't that amazing? Thank you for joining me today, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Until then, take good care of yourself. Kyk mooi na jouself.